Francesco Bagnaia, the two-time world champion, is now at the most difficult crossroads of his Ducati career. Frustration has begun to erode his focus, especially after Marc Márquez's strategy was reportedly leaked to the public. Even worse, Marquez is now favored by MotoGP legends over Bagnaia, the factory's main rider. Is this a sign that Bagnaia's dominance at Ducati is collapsing? Are the legends now doubting Pecco's future as MotoGP's main icon? Let's discuss it, and don't forget to press the subscribe button. At the 2025 Aragon MotoGP this weekend, two Ducati riders presented two completely different stories. One smoothly advancing toward glory and the other trapped in a vortex of confusion and frustration. Bagnaia managed to reach the third podium, a result that is technically progress. However, behind his diplomatic smile and professional demeanor, Bagnaia's eyes revealed a deep turmoil. He was not well. It is increasingly clear that the hunt for this season's world title is slowly turning into a tiring journey to salvage his pride. After going pointless in two full races, in France and England, the pressure on Bagnaia was at its maximum. His Ducati Desmacedicide GP25 no longer obeyed his commands. He was losing his confidence and his sense of direction. In Aragon, he started the weekend with a promising qualifying result, placing fourth. But it all came crashing down in the sprint race. He had a bad start, lost position after position, and finally finished 12th. After the 11-lap mini-race, the camera caught Bagnaia sitting frozen in the garage, helmet still on, body hunched, and head bowed. "I'm not happy." "That's clear," Bagnaia said in a barely audible voice. "The team worked hard to help me. We did a lot to make me feel better." It wasn't just a casual comment. It was the cry of a man on the brink of the biggest crisis of his career. For Bagnaia, the result of the sprint race wasn't just a defeat, it was a reminder that his past dominance was fading. Fortunately, in the main race, Bagnaia improved his situation. He was more patient, maintained his rhythm, and finally secured third place, finishing behind Marquez and, of course, the leader of the standings, Marc Márquez. However, the podium still felt bittersweet. The spotlight, praise, and adulation were not directed at him but at Marc Márquez, who is now grabbing all the attention at Ducati. On the other side of the Ducati garage, Marc Márquez appeared like a god of war who had come straight down to the battlefield. From the moment the starting lights went out, Márquez showed his class. He had an incredibly smooth start and maintained full control over his motorbike throughout the race, achieving a victory that seemed inevitable. In Aragon, he proved once again that he is more than just a fast rider. He is a true winner, someone who knows precisely when and where to unleash his full potential. His victory in the Aragon Grand Prix was more than just an additional trophy. It was a statement of power. With this achievement, he collected 7 wins in Aragon, the most in the MotoGP era on this circuit. No one has matched his dominance on this track. More importantly, he now has 233 points, firmly placing him at the top of the World Championship standings. In contrast, reigning champion Francesco Bagnaia is in third place, 93 points behind. The gap is too big to simply hope for a mistake from his rivals. After this brilliant victory, Marc Márquez began to reveal some of the strategies he had kept under wraps. For the first time, he offered insight into his seasonal approach, going for wins on circuits he likes and knows and playing it safe on circuits that are less favorable to him. "If I want to win the world title this season, I can't afford to fail on circuits that suit me," Marquez told Motorsport with conviction. "On these circuits, I can't afford to make mistakes, and we didn't." That statement wasn't just a reflection on the race in Aragon. It was a blueprint for an 8th world title. Marquez did not rely on raw speed or blind courage. He and his team devised a very specific, measured strategy that is now working perfectly, a fact that must be terrifying for his rivals. Marquez's dominance is not just a story of speed. It's a story of total control over the race, from tactics to execution. So far, no one has been able to stop him. The intense rivalry between Marc Márquez and Francesco Bagnaia is once again in the spotlight. This time, however, it was not just ordinary observers who spoke out. The most incisive comment came from MotoGP legend Alex Crivell, the Spanish world champion known for his sharp analysis and willingness to speak the truth. Crivell expressed his views clearly, without beating around the bush. He said that, despite all his achievements, Marc Márquez is no longer even Bagnaia's main rival in the fight for the world title. Bagnaia is in a different fight, Crivel said in an exclusive interview with Motosan. In the fight for the world title, Marquez is not his biggest rival. His main enemy is Alex. Here, Alex refers to Alex Marquez, Marc's younger brother, who has been incredibly consistent this season with the satellite Ducati Gresini team. Crivel added that Bagnaia is now at a critical point and must find something new with Ducati if he wants to get back on the championship path. The championship is getting further away from him this season. It's a very difficult challenge. Crivel's comments were a hard slap in the face for Bagnaia and the Ducati factory team. Last year, Bagnaia was hailed as the mainstay of Ducati, a symbol of the Red Borgo Panigale team's strength. Now, however, the situation has reversed. Ironically, Alex Marquez is performing more consistently without great pressure and showing outstanding consistency amidst increasingly fierce competition. The most obvious proof of this was seen in Aragon. Alex Marquez finished second, proving that the Gresini satellite team's bike is competitive and capable of outperforming the factory team. In these conditions, Crivel emphasized that Bagnaia must fight not only against main rivals like Marc, but also against the unexpected threat of Alex Marquez, who is now emerging as a real dark horse. Last season, Ducati put all their trust in Francesco Bagnaia. He was the symbol of a long-term project and the golden boy of the academy who had brought 2 consecutive world championship titles to the Bologna headquarters. However, everything changed quickly and drastically this season. Marc Márquez's performance continued to improve from one race to the next and began to shake Ducati's confidence. Meanwhile, Bagnaia seemed to be losing his way. Inconsistency, pressure, and the shadow of Marquez caused people to question his status as project leader. Now, Ducati's strategic direction is increasingly unclear. You could even say it is at a confusing crossroads. Will they remain loyal to their plan from the start to build a future with Pecco Bagnaia? Or will they slowly but surely shift their focus, resources, and support entirely to Marc Márquez, the revolutionary rider who seems ready to lead Ducati into a new era of glory? Rumors from within the paddock suggest that Marquez's leak of his racing strategy to the media was no accident but a deliberate act. It was a signal of strength. It was an open statement that Marquez did not come to Ducati just to hitch a ride in the satellite team's garage. He came to take over. He came to lead. The 2025 MotoGP season still has many races left. However, based on performance trends, technical development, and the psychological state of the riders, one conclusion is becoming very clear. Marc Márquez is speeding toward his 9th World Championship title, while Pecco Bagnaia is struggling in the most challenging season of his career. What makes this situation even sadder is that Bagnaia is losing more than just points and wins. He is slowly but surely losing his identity as a leader within the Ducati team, which he once formed, guided, and led to an era of glory. If Bagnaia fails to find the right combination of technical solutions and mental calmness in the next 2 or 3 rounds, this season will no longer be a stage for a title fight. Instead, it will turn into a coronation procession for Marc Márquez. At the same time, it will bury Pecco Bagnaia's big dream of building his own dynasty in the shadow of an unforgiving living legend. Only one question remains. Is Bagnaia ready to accept his new role as number 2 in a house he once dominated? Share your thoughts in the comments below.